Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and these are my cards for this week's Color Throwdown Challenge, which I would have been on time for if we hadn't had some major thunderstorms and some power outages and all kinds of fun stuff. But anywho, I am starting with some BRISTOL smooth cardstock this time. I just showed these Hero Arts Reactive ink pads in a recent haul video. And then the video I posted yesterday, I used a couple of the blue ones on Neenah cardstock. And I had a feeling that I was really going to like them on BRISTOL Smooth, which I'll already, ruin the surprise. Yes, I do. Most inks work really, really well on BRISTOL Smooth because of the coating on it. So things just kind of glide on here. I have super sped this up because otherwise it gets to be ridiculously long of a video. But this still didn't take very long. I'm working on my Waffle Flower media mat, my water media mat, because it kind of helps hold the cardstock in place without having to tape it down. And then I blended on 3 shades of the reactive ink. I used Lemon Drop and Creamsicle and Fruit Punch. And I'm using one of my life-changing blender brushes. And when I'm done with the brush, I just rub it on my now very filthy microfiber cloth that I'm going to need to wash pretty soon because it's pretty full of ink. But I just rub it off on there until no more ink comes off, and then I rub it onto just some copy paper to make sure it's clean and it's good to go. So I blended these, kind of thinking sort of sunset. These colors are just for this challenge this week. I love them every week, really. But I really like these colors. And right here is where you really see, like when Hero Arts call these reactive inks, yeah, they mean it. I was pleasantly surprised of just how nicely they went with water. So I ended up doing a second piece with the exact same colors. The splatter ended up looking different, which is always fun. And then I wanted to add a little bit of the white splatter using the sea salt reactive ink, which I used the last time as well. It creates it's not as intense as when I do like my white, like my Picket Fence, Distress Paint, or other white paints that I like to use for white splatter. This isn't as intense as that, but I like that. I like having the options. Like if I really want an intense white splatter, I'll use one of my paints. Whereas with this, it gives it that nice little splatter effect that I love, but it's not super like stark white, which with these panels and, I'm going for a sunset theme, I didn't want that because I didn't want it to look like snow or, anything like that. So all I did was smush the sea salt reactive ink onto an acrylic block and then added a bit of water and splattered it. And then I let everything dry. And then once these were dry, I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp's Wildflowers stamp set that I did a video on when this was released. I did the golden, white, and black, the heat embossing. I've been wanting to do just backgrounds like this and then stamp these stamps in black because you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I am lining these up on my stamp platform and I'm using my MISTI Creative Corners, the little like L-shaped ruler that comes with it because this is perfect. This way I can move my cards kind of up so I can place it where I want. I place the stamp where I wanted it, remove the ruler, and then I'm going to stamp this image with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I used that MISTI Creative Corner to place that just in case I end up needing to restamp this because this is a very large stamp. You definitely want to get a perfect stamping with this because it's literally the focus of the card. But I also took a little extra time to make sure to press really well. And just the minute I lifted the lid off, it was like, oh, this is beautiful. So I cleaned the stamp off. I didn't remove it from the platform. I used the little L-shaped ruler again. And this time I have my card base with the inside facing up here. And I am re-inking the stamp up, this time with those same reactive inks. So I started with the lightest, which was the Lemon Drop. And then this orange color, this Creamsicle, I'm actually holding the ink pad on an angle so that I'm only inking up with like the edge of the ink pad. That way I can ink up just kind of the center of the stamp. And I, tap it back and forth to kind of blend it with the yellow. And then I'm adding the Fruit Punch. And then I kind of go back in with the Creamsicle, holding it on an angle again, just to kind of blend these colors together. So I get this gorgeous, ombre effect on this stamp. And then I decided to spray it just very lightly with water. This helps kind of reactivate the inks. Plus, it's going to help them stamp a little bit better. Because, and it just, again, same thing. It's like I stamped this. I wasn't even sure what was going to happen. I lifted off the lid and I was like, this is perfect. Just love it. So I wipe everything up. I'm going to remove this stamp. And then I'm going to stamp the second panel with the second stamp in this set. And this time I flipped the panel around and had the yellow on the bottom. I just thought it would just give it a different look. So I'm doing the exact same thing. using the little L-shaped MISTI ruler to line up my panel, and then lining up the stamp over it, closing the lid, getting the ruler out of the way after I make sure everything's lined up in case I need to realign this panel. And then I'm going to stamp this image with that VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. So ink that up and then make sure to press it down really, really well all over this panel so that I get a perfect impression. And again, it's like so much fun. This is why I love doing what I do, because some days it's just everything just turns out so well and it's so gorgeous, and stamp sets like this just make me happy. So stamped that. It was absolutely fabulous the minute, you know, I lifted off the lid, and it just looked gorgeous. So after I was done stamping it, I did the exact same thing. I cleaned off the stamp, I cleaned off my platform, got rid of all that black ink, cleaned it off really, really well. And then I can line up the card base for this card with the L-shaped ruler. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. I didn't switch up the colors, even though I stamped the panel, like reoriented the panel with the yellow on the bottom with the stamp. I just decided to still do the yellow on the top, then the orange, then the pink. You could do whatever you want, but this is just, I just thought this looked better with on the actual stamp anyway. So started with the yellow, used the edge of the ink pad on the creamsicle, and then the fruit punch. If anyone's wondering, like, you know, you do pick up some of the other color when you do things like this with your ink pads. I don't worry about it. If there's a lot of the other color of ink on the surface of the ink pad, you can like whisk it away with a little bit of paper towel, no biggie, but I've honestly almost never done that. Like maybe on a yellow ink pad, if there's like red ink stuck to it, then I'll like try and get rid of that. But things like this, it's rare that it ever bothers me, especially when it's the very edge of the ink pad. In the end, it just kind of blends in. You don't see it. So after this was completely dry, this is something I get asked quite often, and I usually just don't show it because I don't have, like, my die cut machine's always off to the side. But after this is dry, it's warped a bit because I'd sprayed it with water. So I just fold it in a piece of clean copy paper. The outside of the copy paper is filthy, but the inside was clean. And I just run this through my die cut machine, and that the pressure from the die cut machine from my, this is just the Spellbinders Platinum 6, flattens it. You can do the same thing with, you know, if you've watercolored a little panel and it's all warped, anything like that. You just got to make sure it's completely dry and then put it in some clean copy paper. You don't want anything in it because the pressure of the machine, if there's like ink or whatever on the copy paper, you can like press that right into your finished work. So running it through my die cut machine helped just flatten it out, flatten out the card base so it was not so warped. And then I set those aside. I trimmed down my front panels so they're slightly smaller than an A2 size card. And then for my sentiment, I decided to keep it simple because I loved the look of the ink blend and the splatter and the wildflower images. So I pulled out the Thanks frame wafer die, and I'm just using the wafer die with the word on it. There's also a separate piece that you can use to frame it again or mat it, but I didn't use that. And I ran 2 pieces of white cardstock through my little Xyron machine. And then I'm running just my Teflon bone folder along all the edges. That helps the release paper to pick up any of the excess sticky from the backing paper and whatnot. And then this way, both these pieces of cardstock have the adhesive on the back of them. And then I die cut them. And then what I did to line these up is I peeled off the backing just from the little frame that's around the very edge. And I ended up using this L-shaped ruler again, just so I could line this up on my panel, and then I can press the frame down. And then that is perfectly straight, adhered. Then I removed the actual like center area, just using my craft pick. And I'm going to peel off the backing from the Thanks word. I could have done this all in one step technically, but I found this was actually easier just to maneuver and everything else. So peeled that up, took the backing off the Thanks word. Doesn't have to be perfect, like just as long as the backing is exposed off of the actual word. And then once that was done, I can just press this back into place, press down the Thanks word. So now this is lined up perfectly as well. Use my craft pick, peel off that center area that I don't want. And if you wanted, you could inlay like a different color if you die cut that, but all I wanted was the word, and I just love how it looks with that little frame. It's just perfect. So I did that, and I did the exact same process with the second card. So once those are done, I can now get these adhered to my card bases. So I'm just folding over the card bases, like re-crisping the fold with my Teflon bone folder. And then I'm going to adhere these to the card base with just my Xyron Mega Runner here. You could pop this up with foam tape. I did think about it, but I was kind of liking just how there's all this color and dimension and everything going on and no actual dimension. Like, I didn't use any foam tape. You know, maybe I'm losing my mind, but I really like sometimes when, you know, everything kind of just turns out and I don't have to add 1.5 million embellishments and foam tape and 15 layers to make the card. So adhered both these to the card base so you can see how I trim them down so that, you know, they're framed nicely as well with the card base itself. And then I'm not going to stamp any other sentiments. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside because I just love how the Wildflowers looked stamped on the inside. But as a final little embellishment, I'm just adding some Nouveau drops. I have Nouveau Dream drops in Love Potion and Cloud 9, and then Jewel drops in Limoncello. All three of these are slightly transparent, especially the Jewel drop is very transparent. But all three of these are to a degree, and as they dry, they will absorb a bit of this Hero Arts Reactive ink, which I was planning on. So they end up kind of tinting more to the colors of the background. So they're not as, like the pink isn't as pink and the white, like the Cloud 9 Dream Drop isn't as white. It actually ends up turning like yellow or pink, depending on where I placed it on the card, which I just really liked. It just kind of pulls everything together. So after I applied all the Nouveau drops, that's when you got to let them sit and dry for overnight, etc. And then while those were drying, I ended up stamping envelopes with the Wildflowers images and the Lemon Drop Reactive ink just to tie this whole ensemble together. So I just did those while these were drying, didn't have my camera on. Same old. But yeah, once everything is dry, these cards are done. So as always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post. I'll have a link to the Color Throwdown Challenge post. I'll have a supply list with links, everything. You can check that out in the description box below. I'll have the first link will be to my blog and supplies, etc., etc. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!